Hello and welcome back. My name is Night Owl, and this is my single player survival world. That was a lot of exploring, wasn't it? So, since we've got our exploring done, since we found most of the biomes, the only one that we're missing is the jungle biome. I did a lot of exploring off camera, guys, sorry. But I did find pretty much everything we're gonna need, and as we are building it out, I will definitely go ahead and show you it. Um, but the next thing that we are going to need is going to be storage, because I picked up a lot of stuff. I'm planning to pick up even more, and right now there's nowhere to put it except for upstairs here. And that's not really going to cover a lot. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to go on a mining expedition. I'm going to get a lot of stone. I'm probably going to do a lot of chopping wood. And today we are going to be building all of the storage that we need, especially since the nether has changed since the last time that we went there. And there's going to be even more blocks in the nether that we haven't played with yet. I will see you guys in a little bit. In the meantime, we are going to head back down into the mines. Alright guys, so welcome back. I am really bad at remembering to come back here and check in with you guys in between things. There has been a couple of changes. Obviously, I put together a little bit of a farm here, so now I can have some fresh veg and my own wheat instead of going and stealing from the villagers. I also got some pumpkins going. And I also put together a little cheaty furnace array. So these things are really cool. You fill up... Here, I hid that out. You fill up the chest, you fill up the hopper, and then you don't take anything out. And then anytime that you cook something in here, like this, you get all of the stored XP. So, for instance, let's get this cooked. So you see I'm at 23, take this out, and that just popped me to 26. And that is really handy for any number of reasons, a lot of which right now has to do with the fact that I desperately need to get some enchantments going. So I also need to make myself some proper armor here so that I can get things going. The other thing that I did is, if you remember, this was not this flat when I last checked in. So one of the things that I did was I flattened out this entire area almost all the way down to the beach, and then almost all the way down to the swamp in the background. The reason I did that is because eventually what I want to do is I want this entire area to kind of be my industrial area. Like, I don't know that I'm going to keep this as like my base. I have another couple areas that I'm thinking of for my actual base, but I do want to get this going as a industrial area. I want to put a lot of farms in here. I want to put an iron farm in, village breeder, trading hall, all of those things. And that's the other reason that I want to build at least my bulk storage area out here. And what I'm thinking is I am going to put my bulk storage probably right around where this Podzol stuff is, because that's kind of, well, it's kind of central in this area. But the next thing that I need to do right now is get myself shoes and a shirt and a hat. I'm not going to do pants in this because since the new nether, I would rather do my pants in gold. But I definitely need shoes and shoes and a shirt and a hat. And I did already get a shovel going and get a little bit of a pick going. And then I have, so what I really need is I do need... probably a sword would be good. Oh, and I got a diamond hoe, which nowadays you actually need a diamond hoe. Well, what you really need is a netherite hoe, but I haven't gone over and gotten the netherite hoe going. But yeah, so I do definitely need a sword and probably an axe, and then I'll be set up pretty nicely as far as that's concerned. I also did a lot of mining, and so oh, and I also obviously have a lot of the grass from the terraforming, but I did a lot of mining. I don't have much stone because most of it went into the cheaty furnace. But I've got a lot of iron. I've got a bunch downstairs as well. And I got a little bit of everything else just to make things a little bit better. But I also did a lot of getting wood, and I got it in my spruce and my dark wood. So I'm going to be ready to go ahead and get that built, and then we're going to be putting a lot of things into chests and getting those organized. I still don't have quite enough to get it well automated, but at the very least, I can go ahead and I can get the chests built and get things organized that way. If you look out the windows, you can see there's a lot more zombies and such. Well, now you can't because they just died. A lot more zombies and skeletons nowadays because of the fact that things spawn now. Hello, creeper. I do not need you blowing up my garden. Thank you. Oh. I also see you, Mr. Skillybob. A decent bow. There is nothing like it. Whack, 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 whack. Oh, and you didn't even have the, decency to give me anything. And whack, 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 whack. That's a little bit better. So, probably going to take about 2 to 3 more pulls to get up to level 30. Alright, so I think I am almost fully geared up. My chestplate still doesn't have any enchants on it because I'm really wanting to get blast protection. Because eventually we are going to be heading back into that nether, and we are going to be doing some bed mining because I'm going to want a lot of netherite. But in the meantime, I've got my hoe that I talked about. I've got a silk touch shovel. I've got a beautiful sword. I've got a silk touch pick. It's got unbreaking, but it's going to work. I've got my fortune diamond pickaxe. I've got a fortune shovel. I've got an efficiency axe. We've got some good basic equipment for now. A lot of what we're going to need for getting perfect equipment is I am going to need to go over and steal a couple of villagers. That's the other thing I'm thinking we might do, is we might just go run over, steal a couple of villagers, because, oh, my kingdom for some mending. That would be nice. And what we're going to do now, though, like I said, is we are going to start figuring out how we are going to do the storage units. So what we're kind of going to do is we're going to kind of grab a bunch of the blocks, sleep as soon as it's dark, and then we're going to kind of lay out somewhat of an idea. I'm also going to go ahead and make up a bunch of chests just to kind of get an idea of where we're going to be going with the storage. So let's go ahead, let's get some supplies together. Alright, so we've got our chests, we've got just some marker blocks, and what we're going to need to do is we are going to need to sort of get a layout of what we're going to want, because I'm going to want separate sort of rooms for each major item. And then, wow, pig just spawned right in front of us. That's so weird now. So, like, I'm going to want a room for stone, and a room for wood, and a room for just sort of the general items. I don't need a lot of that because, honestly, most of the storage is going to go on I don't need a lot of basic items because most of the storage is actually going to be taken to my main base. This is just kind of the bulk stuff and the stuff that's going to get farmed right in this area. So, like, having a place for stone and andesite and wood, the different kinds of wood makes sense because that's going to get farmed over here, but just having a general purpose everything is not a lot of sense. So I'm thinking for general purpose, we're only going to really need maybe this much, and then I'll build it upwards. So maybe 6, and then build that upwards. And I don't think that I am going to need to, I don't think that I am going to want to go ahead and automate the general storage yet. But I do know that I am going to want to go ahead and automate the bulk portions. So, like, and I think I'm gonna have to play with it and also see how close, like, I want this to be the end. So I want walking spaces too. And I know I always like to keep, like, terracotta and concrete and all of those together. So that would be one wing. And I think this is about as close to the main area as I want to get. And then so next time we come in, next time you check back with us, I'll have sort of laid out the general shape of how the storage is going to go, and we will see where this is going to take us as far as the general shape of the storage unit. Well, it's not the most graceful of shapes, but it should get us a pretty good basic idea of how we want to get this going. The front part over here, so all of that right there, is going to be just sort of the general bulk stuff. It's obviously all of these are obviously going to be many more chests, and I've already almost gone through 2 double stacks of chests just to get the idea. And then on either side, over here and over there, is more or less the where I'm going to put, like, the concrete and the terracotta and the wool and the glass, all the things that are colored. I can stack them up. And then in the back area, I've kind of already put things into chests just to make sure I had enough. And I think I have exactly enough with, like, 1 to spare for general bulk storage. And the reason that one is so much wide in the back is because, like I said, I am going to be automating that area at the very least. Because, yeah, that's going to need a lot of automation, because that's going to be where the vast majority of stuff goes. And you can see further out, I do still need to do some more terraforming, and, like, over there I need to, but this is all the stuff that I've flattened out and gotten rid of all the drowned holes and all of that. Did a little bit of work there. But yeah, so the next step will be kind of building the shell of the storage area. One of the reasons I'm doing the storage area so quick is because it's always easier to keep track of things if you know where everything is. And I like knowing where everything is and everything having its place. So first thing I always do is first thing I always do is I build my house. But the second thing I always do is put together a storage area so that I know where things are and, you know, what my overall shape is going to be as far as that kind of thing is concerned. Even if I don't quite have enough to make it all automated and pretty, I still want to have enough to get the basic idea going. So next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that this isn't all even, because it's a little bit easier to build a lot of times if it's odds. And then we're going to go ahead and build out a basic shell and kind of play with how we want this to look. It's going to be kind of fairly utilitarian, I think, because, well, it's storage. It's not going to be exciting. But it can still look nice. So when I come back, I will have a basic shell, probably, of how this is going to look. All right, and welcome back. So at this point, we kind of have something of generic box number 5, with just a couple of details so far. I've got some dark oak logs, and otherwise it's done in spruce. I did make a few adjustments, just making sure that it's kind of the size I want and that it's going to be a little bit easier. I also moved it about 4 blocks over because otherwise it was just getting way too close to my house. And so that wouldn't have worked very well. But other than that, this is kind of just the basic start of it. It took a lot of wood to get there, but it's starting to come together, and I've kind of got all of the basic support structure in. Next part is going to be adding some details, a lot of windows, because honestly the supply house should probably have a lot of natural lighting, and figuring out what I want to do with the floor. Like you can see, I did move it over about 4, and I just haven't taken down those. I took down the other chests at the moment, but I kind of just went through, and into each chest I kind of either put one of the items that it's going to eventually hold, or I put signs on it to kind of just double check. And it looks like after everything, I will probably have 1 or 2 extra chests just for if I forgot any items. So that is always a good thing. So, yeah. So next part that we're going to see is probably once I have a little bit more detail and hopefully even a floor. That would be really cool. So let's go ahead and let's get back cracking. One of the most amazing things to me is how you can go from generic box number 5 to you add a little bit of detail and it starts to actually look like a viable building. That's what we've been doing here, is just adding a little detail, and probably the top is going to get sort of overshadowed by the roof that I'm thinking of, but you know, just adding that little bit of something. Oh, and I had to climb up a gravel hill to be able to get to the top to add that detail. But adding that little bit of detail, it just starts to really pull the build together and make it start becoming a building, rather than, like I said, generic box number 5. And there's a lot more detail I need to add. However, I think if we don't go kidnap a couple of villagers pretty quick here, I'm gonna lose at least this axe, and it's a pretty decent axe. It doesn't have anything on it besides efficiency, but still, efficiency is always a good thing. And I've also got another shovel that is almost dead. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to completely sidetrack ourselves and do something that I was planning to do next episode, but let me see, where is it? It's kind of necessary at this point. We're going to go kidnap a couple of villagers, and we're going to stick them in a box and tell them that if they don't give us mending, well, things are not going to end well for them. Oh, I should grab 2 boats, actually. 1 for me and 1 for 2 villagers. Because if I'm going to borrow 1 villager, I might as well borrow 2. That way we'll be ready to build a villager breeder, get a villager trading center, and get everything just nicely accomplished for really getting this place to become a home rather than just a couple of boxes in the middle of nowhere. So right now what we're going to have to do, we've raided the village for its books, now we're going to raid it for its people. So we went back over to the home village over there, and we went and we raided, and we got 2 villagers, because if we're getting 1, we might as well get 2. And then I built this little box, and it's not a very pretty box, but to be honest, it's just basically meant to hold these guys until we move them into a breeder. And after resetting and resetting again, we got a mending! And then I also just chose the Fletcher just because sticks are easy to come by when you're building a lot. So it's not a pretty box, but it's spawn proof. You know, you won't have the monsters coming and eating their faces, and in the meantime... Oh, I drowned. I am going to take this mending book, and I'm going to fix up my shovel first of anything. It's not really a great price, that mending villager, but, I mean... You know, that's not going to be like the mending villager in my trading hall. That's just, you know, intending to be there until, you know... He's just meant to be there until it's kind of time to get a proper village, and plus, we do have the ability to zombify and get better trades. All right, my axe. Let's go take you over to the cheaty furnace. And I am so glad I didn't blow the axe while I was trying to reset the dude over and over. So weird to be not having to take off my armor. Alright, we need to do a bit more cooking there. Do I have anything to cook? I guess I'll just go grab another 64 pack of potatoes. They're good food source. Kind of a little starchy, but what are you gonna do? Do I not have another 64? Well, I'll throw the 7 in at least. Alright, and so once we've got that fixed up, we're going to go back to building, and those villagers are just going to hang out there until next time. Isn't it absolutely amazing what just a little bit of detail does? So, oh, and it looks like I have a skeleton in there as well. Joy. So basically what I did is I just kind of started to put the framing in around the edges. And I have a little bitty patio there and an Enderman, apparently. And kind of went all the way around. I've got an idea of where I want the window for the side wings. I'm going to take this down. I was using it to double check if I was getting things centered. And you can kind of see where I've been kind of working my way around. And then I also went ahead and put the roof on. And... I hate doing roofs, I'm gonna be honest, but, you know, it's actually came out pretty good. The roof isn't complete. I have a little bit more, but this at least is gonna get it to where it looks nice. Oh, hey, there's an empty spot right there. Perfect. And then anytime I have extra dirt, I've just been kind of going along and filling in these things because I want this entire area all the way back probably to the birch forest to be one flat area. And then I can add hills and such as I need them, but like I said, this is going to be my industrial area, so I kind of need it industrious and easy to put a bunch of farms everywhere. So one of the reasons that I went for the cobblestone stairs is because A, it's easy. I have a Fortune 3 Unbreaking, but efficiency 4 thing. And the other reason is because it makes a really nice roof line if instead of like going up, you kind of wrap it around. It gives you that really nice little roof line. And then I have a little bit of skylights in the wings. And then I took it up just a little bit higher. And then these are bottom slabs. And this one popped up. But the bottom slabs is going to make it so that it's the bottom slabs are going to make it so that it's spawn proof. So I don't have to put torches on the ceiling to get it to be nice. So Oh, and the other cool thing that I discovered, they fixed feather falling. I am so excited about that because now I can just hop off of things and it's not like roll the dice and see what damage you take this time. The next bits is going to be figuring out where I'm going to put windows in this and what kind of windows, and probably finishing up the roof and putting in a little bit more in the way of framing. I think that down around back, it's still very, very blank walled, and I probably want to put like 3 in this area and probably 3 in the probably 3 or 4 in the back here. I'm probably gonna do 4 in the back, just to make it look a little bit nicer and a little less blank, because like this amount is really nice for it having some framing but still have some open. And then it's just a matter of putting in windows and then the working on the flooring. And then the big part, putting in all the chests and making it look really cool. I don't know if we're going to get to all of that in this episode, but I do want to at least get to finishing the framing out and finishing putting in floors and putting in windows, so that it's just kind of, like I said, the last things that will be left is putting in the actual materials and chests and where things are going to go. But this is where we're at so far, and we've made a lot of progress, so it's really super cool. So next time we come in, hopefully we'll have the framing and the windows done, and who knows, we might even already have the flooring. But yeah, no, I'm also going to need to go and do a little bit more trading over at my villagers, who are in just a blocks right now. I can't wait for next one. We're going to be doing but yeah, so next time when I come back, we're probably going to have the framing done, and we will be back and ready to go. Wow, this is looking so nice. It's not quite perfect, but I've got windows in on the areas that most of them are where I want them to be. But what I'd really like to do is I'd like to put in some on this back area back here, but I just don't have the sand or the glass right now, and all of my shovels are almost dead. So glass is going to probably wait till another day. When I have, glass is going to probably wait till another day when I have, mending, books to add to them. I just don't have enough sugarcane right now to get the 22 emeralds it's going to take to get more mending books. But I also have the windows on the back, so that's going to let in a lot of natural light. And then, the other thing that's really great is I am taking advantage of the fact that if you put light underneath slabs in bedrock, it lights up the area, so I don't have to have visible lighting. And once I've got sort of everything in, then I'll add the visible stuff to make it look nice. But at the moment, at least it won't be spawning everything in creation. So then the next step, what we're going to do, all we have left is to put chests in here. And so this is going to eventually become a wall. And I might wind up putting a wall in here too. I don't know. I need to see how well all the chests are going to fit for what I need. But this is going to separate out. This is going to be sort of more the individual item storage. And this big area, like I've said, is going to become the bulk storage. So this is where I'm going to put all of the stone items and all of the wood items. And eventually it's going to get automated and look really, really pretty. That's the other reason that I'm not too terrible worried about putting windows back here, because you're not really going to be able to get to see them that much because it's going to have all the redstone and everything in it. But in the meantime, I can go ahead and I can get a bunch of chests together so that we can kind of see a little bit of how it's going to start to formulate. So that is going to be awesome. Last time I checked back, we are going to have a little bit more organization in our lives, and we're going to have the ability to go and do some really cool things. So yeah. This is gonna be really, really fun. Oh, I'm so happy with this. And yeah, I do need to take the dirt out. I was just using that as scaffolding, so that's the other thing I probably should do before we finish up for the day, because everything else looks super nice and then there's random chunks of dirt up in the ceiling. Oh, I love the height to this. We're going to be able to store so much stuff, and it still feels really super open even once we put all the chests in, which is one of the things that I really wanted. It was that really open feeling to it, because sometimes you get these supply areas and it's like it's cramped and it's stuck and it's just not as pretty as it could be. And I'm a sucker for pretty. So yeah, so next time we get back, we are going to have a little bit of sort of the idea of how the chests are going to go. And we're going to be ready to get this episode wrapped up for today. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Well, a few seconds on your end, a couple of minutes on mine. You can almost smell all the new wood smell in here. So this is kind of how the bulk storage is going to be organized overall. So this is going to go a bit higher. These are going to be my chests of just like things that I get a lot of, but probably only one or two stacks of them at a time. So like food and produce and the odd blocks that you don't necessarily pick up a lot, and stone, that kind of thing. These side bulk storages are for the colored items, so I kind of laid this out a little bit for the wool since that was fairly easy to get. There's obviously a couple of colors missing. I don't have brown because I didn't find a jungle on my travels. We're going to have to probably go a little bit further afield than I went to go find a jungle. Cyan and green because I've only got one cactus and it's kind of very, not growing, so you can see that over there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side for probably like glass. And then over on the far side over here is going to be, concrete and terracotta. So those are the things I'm probably going to get a double chest of. But it just looks really pretty when you organize it by color. And then back here is, of course, where we're going to do the big bulk storage. So all of the different woods, all of the different stones. It's going to go quite a few high in the air and then be automated because sorting all of that stuff out takes a lot of time. But in the meantime, we have gotten a lot accomplished here. We definitely got a fair amount accomplished, a fair amount that we didn't have, and this really is going to open up a lot of possibilities because it's going to be easier to go out into the world, come back, dump off stuff, and then be able to sort out projects and say, okay, I have all of these items because they're not just hither and thither and everywhere. They're all going to be in one place. It's going to be nice and organized, and that's what I really love about when I'm starting out a world, when I can start to see the shape of the things that we can do. And then I did this little stair area, this little framed out area with these spaces because eventually we are going to have shulker boxes, and this is where I'm just going to put all of the project shulker boxes. So as I work a project, as I'm coming through taking out the items I need from these, I can put them into shulkers, take them off with me, and when I'm done, put them back in here, empty them out, and we're up to a brand new day. Decided to do it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I can stand here and I can open any chest from here to there, and I'm going to stack them as high as I can stand here and open every single chest. Because that just makes things a lot nicer and a lot more neatly organized, and I don't have to fuss and, go running back and forth. Okay, I need to go over to this chest, I need to go over this chest, I can just stand here and get every single chest that I need. And then the in-between stuff, I tend to use that for, like, putting in furnaces that, a couple of furnaces here and there, the anvil, grindstone, stone cutter, spare shulker boxes, and then the extra room is probably going to be the stuff that's, like, the non-stackable, so, like, my weapons chest, my armor chest, the CDs. I'm hoping to get a pig step because, oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome. But so yeah, so we have got a brand new storage area that's got the beginnings of being ready for business. So I definitely want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope that you had a great time. And next time we are going to be starting up the village breeder. In the in-between, I'm probably going to get this bulk storage all put away, get the storage out of my house over there, and, you know, get things repaired and get things ready. So I definitely want to thank you all so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and hit the like button, leave me comments, and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hopefully I'm going to be getting some good episodes out, and I really hope that you're going to take the journey with me. So thank you so much for joining us today, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!